Let's do a little more research. It's hard to read this document, I admit. So let's take a look at some of the other work we used to do back in the day. A little bit of show and tell pro, if you will. One effective technique was to write anonymous letters to stir things up amongst troublesome groups. You see, you get them gunning for each other, which puts us at a deniable distance from the gunfire, and it saves on ammunition. And of course, we pass those savings on to you, the taxpayer, so it's win-win. Example. Here's one we wrote as if from a union worker to a union boss to get the Teamsters, and more importantly, any gangsters they might know, up in arms against the Communist Party of America. Quote, the New York office requests Bureau permission to prepare the following anonymous letter, Xerox copies of which will be sent to the same Teamster union locals in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, which received the first anonymous letter. March 22nd, 1968. Dear union boss, I'm the loyal union man who wrote you at the end of January, and I've got more news for you. You'll remember that I told you I heard from my commie brother-in-law that the leaders of his party were in Moscow, and amongst the instructions they came back with were to try to get rid of the hoodlums and the truck and dock unions in this country. Well, I was talking to my brother-in-law a couple nights ago, and he asked me how things were going in my Teamster local, and I said okay. He told me he knew there were gangsters in my union, but things would be changing for the best shortly. He told me that back in February, leaders of his party were in Hungary meeting party people from other countries, and it came up again about how they're gonna clean up the gangster-controlled unions in the United States. I told him he was all wet, but I didn't use those words. I'm afraid these commies mean business, so watch out. Thanks to the use of a free copy machine, I can get the word out about this. Don't let the commies take over. A patriotic American and union man. We call that Operation Hoodwink. Get it? So you see, there's lots of creativity involved here. But what's most important is the anticipation of the worst case scenario in the mind of the recipient. We are just echoing and amplifying the fear and suspicion we hope is already in there. But we're still at our initial document. We still can't read this thing, can we? We're no nearer. Our next and last option is to really try to go into the text and explore the space. We need to do our homework and go under the redaction marks. I mean, don't you want to know what this document says? I know that I do. So let's do it. Let's get in there, let's dig in and see if we can't find this text's inner voice. Oh, I'm glad you could join me down here underneath the redaction marks. Sure is dark down here. Let's check it out. Well, there really isn't that much to see. I guess the moral of the story is when you submerge yourself underneath those magic markings, there is no more text left. Errata redaction. Boy, there's a juicy piece of cultural commentary. I bet Harper's Magazine would eat that up. Still, it is spooky down here. Yeah, this is a haunted place.
We always say the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you remember I said, with the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary.
I was Fred Hampton, leader of the Black Panther Party in Chicago, 21. He was such a great speaker, such a voice. Too good. We shot him in his sleep. Sorry, Fred. Rest in peace. Okay? In the name of the judicial, the legislative, and the executive, I call upon you now to protect me. This is a ghost story.